Alright, what's happening guys? Tommy back here again, Tommy Talks Footy, and tomorrow it could be doomsday. It could be doomsday for Arne Slot and Liverpool and his managerial reign. Because Man United and Chelsea played this morning, they both dropped points, and this is a crossroads moment for Arne Slot. He's got a perfect opportunity here, a perfect storm. You get a result, you're back into 3 points away, and then everything sort of gets back on track. You know, there's nothing like getting a win when your rivals have dropped points, and the fans will start to believe in you, and they'll start to think it's possible again that we could finish in the top four, even though we've been so dreadful these last couple of months in the season, really. You get a win here away at Sunderland, it's going to be very tough, but if you get a win there, then it starts to just change that thought process again, and the fans will get behind you. However, like I said, that crossroads moment, if we lose this or we don't get a result, I'm not even going to say a point anymore. I used to say a point, but if we don't win this, I think it's doomsday. I really do, because this is going to be a branch timeline moment where if we win, like I said, back on track. But if we lose, it's done. I think that if we lose from here, particularly given the fact that the two teams above us have dropped points, we're just not going to be near it, and I don't think the fans will be able to get behind him. Now, this is an interesting topic I want to talk about with Arne Slot, because I've had multiple conversations, I've had multiple talks with other fans about this, in terms of giving Slot the time necessary, backing him through this hard patch, through this season. And look, I can understand that, and I respect it to some degree, and it's such a hard thing to talk about, because on one hand you're like, this has been terrible, and it's so obvious that he's lost whatever confidence is in this group, but then on the other side you're like, this is our manager, it's not who we are to just go and sack. However, it really looks like we should. And there's one damning statistic that I think some of the believers in Arne Slot need to know, is that he has a worse record than Roy Hodgson in those last 20 games. That is ridiculously bad. Like, that, you can't get around that. That's no scapegoat there. You know, Roy Hodgson is undoubtedly the worst Liverpool manager of the last 20 years. How he left, we were 17th when he left us. 17th. You know, we were dreadful. And Arne Slot now has a worse record in the last 20 games than Hodgson did in his last 20 before he got the sack. So it's not good. Now, the question would be, for me, is that if he didn't win the league, would we keep him? Probably not. And I think that that's damning to me, because it's not like we won the league and he had his entire side and it was entirely his style. You know, that was still Jurgen Klopp's side, and he came in. Obviously, look, he made changes. I remember near enough at every half time we'd come out, bang, we'd look like another side, and we would change the game, we'd win. And you were starting to think, damn, this guy he's a tactician, he's a mastermind, he can turn things around. But now it's just looking like maybe that was all. Oh, I don't want to say lucky, because you don't win a Premier League title by luck, but I think maybe he was fortunate in the players that he had, in the positions that they were. Like Diaz, an incredibly good one-on-one player, just pace and abundance, can beat you and then be really dangerous. Then you have Darwin Núñez, he's going to press, he's going to run his heart out all game, he's a nuisance, he's hard to defend against, and he opens the pitch up, so it allows Salah to draw in. Then obviously, unfortunately, you can't do anything about Jota. That's nobody's fault. But you lose Jota, and then we lose Trent, who's the most creative player we've had in the last 20 years, probably since Gerrard. So you can't recreate that, and we don't replace them. Not for like players, we don't really replace them, and then we've got to try blend in this style. And I know there's teething problems, but we spent 400 million in two positions, so of course there was not going to be a good blend there, because we're very top heavy, but we haven't invested in the back. The defense looks old. Konate looks like he's out. Van Dijk, definitely best years are past him. Even Alisson looks like he's on the decline. So it has all happened at once, where the decline of certain players and then trying to blend in the new ones. It's all happened at the same time, and again, that's hard, but you can't get away from the statistics that for the last 20 games, he's got worse loss record than, or worse points record than Roy Hodgson. It's not very good. It's not very good at all. So crossroad moment. Sunderland game. If he gets a win, it's back on, and maybe that will give us the confidence. Because obviously you've got to remember this, guys. And I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here, as much as I've said in my previous videos that I think he should go. The fact that he's not gone yet, you sort of just have to deal with it. So crossroads moment. You get this win, we're back in the hunt. It'll only be 3 points, and then obviously we've got the experience at winning Premier League titles. The side knows how to go deep. We've done it before. I remember in the year after we won the title in 1920, in that 2021 season, when we would near enough every player was injured and we had no defense. We were playing bloody kids at the back. I think we were around 7th or 8th with about 12 games left to go. And then we went on this incredible run and we ended up finishing 3rd. So it is doable. We can do it. And those teams above us, like Chelsea and Man United, they're not experienced yet. They're having good results. But that team, like Man United, is not an experienced enough side yet to be able to go these last maybe 10 games and grind out results. I don't know if they can do that. We're not showing any evidence to say that we can either. But if we can just get some results getting on the board now, away at Sunderland is a difficult fixture. They made it hard for us at home. Now, if you were to said at the start of the year, is Sunderland going to be a tricky game? You're defending champions. No, I would have thought we would go there and easily get points. But this is going to be hard. You're going to have to dig in. They're a fortress at home. They made it hard for Arsenal. It's going to be tough. So we're going to have to deal with the pressure. But if we can get a result in terms of 3 points there, that'll be massive for the confidence. And who knows? It might just put us in the right direction. There's been plenty of games this year where I've said, if we get this win, we're going to be in the right direction. If we can get over the line, then maybe it'll change our fortunes, and then we end up losing the game. So it's difficult. But like I said, it's a branch timeline moment for me. You win this one, it's back on. And maybe you can save yourself, and maybe you can get into the top 4 and still find some success this year. If you lose, I think we're finished. I think if he loses tomorrow morning, I can't see how we even get anywhere near the top 4. And I think if that happens, he will probably lose his job. I can't see him keeping his job. So tomorrow's massive. It is massive for Arne Slot. He's got to get a result. The way he speaks in interviews too at the moment is very strange. Like, it's almost like he's trying to force it. Like, I just feel like he's mocking the fans and he's mocking the intelligence of people sometimes. It's very strange. I don't know. He's an oddball. He's an odd guy. I can't really figure him out, but we'll see what happens tomorrow, guys, with the Sunderland game. It's a big, big game. I'll be watching it, and we will see how we go. Hopefully we get the 3 points, but I'll be back after that. We'll see what the result is. It'll either be a positive response or a negative one, and we'll talk about it from there. But anyway, as usual, guys, hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and as usual, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.